neighborhood with one of those near t-shirts. They have the name of every driver who was inducted into the Hall in 2018, including Ted Christopher and Mike Stefanik with 15 wins, the all-time tour win leader at Thompson. And if you missed the banquet and weren't able to get a shirt like some people we know, you will have an opportunity this weekend. Right now we have an opportunity for a restart, and it looks like Keith Rocco has brought his game face to the dance, Pete. We'll see if he can repeat on this restart.
Well, Todd Owen gets another shot at it. Let's see if he does anything different here when the green flag drops. Pace car is off. They head out of turn 4, and the green flag is in the air. But once again, Rocco gets that jump. Owen tries to hang tough, but Rocco will lead him down into turn 1. Trouble right here at the start.
And that's Josh Zentek, who's skidded through the grass. We'll see if he can get back out onto the track. But right now, he is tangled up in the weeds. It is Rocco out in front. Todd Owen withstood the challenge of Kyle James, but that lap will not count. And as soon as the yellow comes out, Zentek goes back into motion. So Josh Zentek, he took the entire 2018 season off to regroup, and he said he is coming back to race every event at Thompson this year. Right now, he'll have to race from the rear of the field. And Keith Rocco, the start and the restart, the one thing they have in common is that Rocco got a great jump on both of them.
Well, similar to a football play where you see a play and you figure out the next time they run that play, how are you going to run that in defense against the offense? Well, similar here. Todd Owen says, what can I do different on the restart to get the jump on Keith Rocco? Of course, he doesn't want to make too much of a jump because they'll call off the...
A new ride for Pitcat, the 2016 Sunoco Modified Champion, when he won the big trophy for Stan Mertz as his car owner. Now Dan Avery taking over that responsibility. So we are getting ready to pull the trigger on this restart. And here comes Rocco flying out of turn 4.
Green flag is in the air, and this time Todd Owen will hang tough with him on the outside down into turn 1. They'll be side by side. Now Rocco by a length, but Owen gets a great launch out of turn 2 and draws right side by side. They're even down into the third turn.
Speaking of great launches, Christopher was able to get by James. Now lunging backward is Todd Owen, and Rocco will have the lead on lap number 5. Once again, Troy Tallman continues his pursuit on the inside. Now he climbs up to the upper groove right behind Owen. Here comes Christopher.
Yeah, Christopher with a great move out of turn 2, like the last lap, launched right out of the turn, and he's going to go underneath Rocco to they just touch coming out of the turn. Christopher has to get off the throttle, and that allows Rocco to get away.
That was a little boot scoop boogie that time for Mike Christopher, but he was able to stabilize the car and keep it in front of Kyle James. Here comes Keith Rocco. Doesn't like to be second. Makes a bold submarine move against Owen. Now Owen, can he pay him back as they head to turn 1?
Yeah, Owen sticks the nose down underneath trying to take it back as they go into turn 1, but Rocco will lead him there. Rocco cleared him, but obviously had to wait to get back on the gas, and that allowed Owen to get the nose back underneath, but not enough to pass him and retake the lead. So Rocco, the early leader, is back in front.
Mike Christopher all by his lonesome in third. Best battle between Kyle James in the 16 and Woody Pitcat. Dive mob moving down low as he tries to catapult his way underneath Saravallo. Didn't have enough ammunition, and Pitcat drops back into 5th place.
Yeah, Pitcat will have to wait and wait for that opportunity once again. But he did get a good run off the second turn to draw alongside the 16 of James, but not enough to make the pass.
Here comes Tenacious Todd, looking for elbow room against Keith Rocco. Good battle deeper in the field. Glenn Reed mixing it up with Ronnie Williams and Troy Tallman. That is a fight for 6th place. The fight for the lead. Let's see what Todd Owen has up the sleeve of his fire suit.
Yeah, Todd Owen can only get up on the back bumper of Keith Rocco that time and follow him down into turn 1. He'll do the same on the backstretch. They continue to put some distance between themselves and the 3rd place runner, Mike Christopher. Great battle for the lead.
Trouble for Ronnie Williams. He drops off the pace. You see him in turn 3. So something has gone wrong with the Adam Scavera-owned car. Everything has gone right with Rocco as he leads the 81 of Todd Owen by about the length of a caterpillar. Then it is Mike Christopher, followed by Woody Pitkat, and then it is Kyle James holding off Glenn Reen. But it has been a long weekend for Ronnie Williams.
Hey, the guy who's got some speed out there is Woody Pitkat. He got around James last lap and has already put a couple of car lengths between them. He's on a race to catch those top three. They're just coming out of the fourth turn.
He had the fastest lap on lap number 12. So Woody, that car is coming in for him. And usually Dan Avery cars, they are better as the race gets longer. Todd Owen hoping that could be true for him as he is looking for an alley underneath Keith Rocco. And Rocco, very few guys are as good at protecting a lead as he is. And he might be slowing down the pace a little because look at Mike Christopher. He is getting a lot closer to the two guys up in the front.
Yes, and you'll notice Keith Rocco using as much of the track. As the caution flag comes out, we've got a car around right entering the fourth turn. But Rocco, of course, will use as much of the racetrack as he can to maintain the lead and throw the block as best he can, too. So Todd Owen's got his work cut out for him.
Yeah, he does not want Owen to cannonball underneath him. We're going to head to the paddock area and check in with Dave Barabal.
Well, a man who's in far too early. He wants to be is Ronnie Williams. And Ronnie, can you tell us what happened to the number 50?
Yeah, just going down front stretch blew up, so. Just going down front stretch blew up, so it kind of sucks. Second one of the weekend, so don't really know what's going on there.
So, guys, a tough for Ronnie Williams. His day ending quickly today here at Thompson.
Remember, his car blew up Friday in practice, so it has been a struggle for the Adam Scavera-owned number 50 team, the Empower sponsored car. So frustration for Ronnie Williams. Also coming in, Joey Allegro in the 08, the 19 of Robert Palmer. So cars coming in at just about at the halfway point, lap 14. This race scheduled for 30 laps. Coming up next will be 75 laps for the Pro All-Star Series, as it's just hit after hit. Is that what you said during your disc jockey days? That's what the icebreaker is, just hit after hit, from the Sunoco Modifieds to the Pass to the Limited Sportsman to the late models to the Whelen Modified Tour to the mini stocks. Just nothing but gold.
That's right. The hits just keep on coming.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
I figured you said that a few times.
Let's go to the infield again and Dave.
Well, I got to look at Marcello Refrano's car, the 68. There's some damage to the left rear of the car where the car comes back out. Perhaps our fans can see it. They made a change on the tire. They've got the right side jacked up. Engine fired, and the 68 returns to the track.
A little bit of an extended stop there for Refano. Many of the other drivers came in. They put the tape measure on the right rear just to check the growth of the tire and any adjustment they might have to make, and sending most of them right back out again. But extended pit stops for a couple of cars down there, and Refano was one of them. And we've got an overheating car down there. The 19 looks like it's got some steam coming off the front of that car.
Yeah, Marcello Refrano had a great 2018 season, winning the SK Light Championship at Stafford, and also has a Sunoco Modified win at Thompson. Here is Rocco, like he was fired out of a harpoon gun, and settling underneath behind him is Owen. Keep an eye on Mike Christopher. He is on the bottom and looking to do some damage.
Yeah, on the bottom, but that's not working for him on the backstretch. That allows Woody Pitkat to drive by on the outside, and Pitkat hangs right on the back bumper of Owen. They're racing 1, 2, 3 on the straightaway.
Woody Pitkat, a two-time Sunoco Modified champion, was able to get around Mike Christopher. One driver who was trapped on the inside groove, that is Kyle James, as Glenn Reed is able to buzzsaw around him. Mike Christopher goes up in the high groove looking for some bite, but he still trails Woody Pitkat in the fight for third place.
Yeah, you noted about Kyle James trying to work the bottom, and it just isn't for him. Finally finds a spot to slide back up, gets behind Troy Talman in the number 3, but that's going to put him in the 7th spot. Talman's going to try the bottom, trying to get underneath Glenn Reen, and boy, they almost slam into each other through that 3rd and 4th turn as he's trying to make the bottom work for him.
Yeah, Reed almost wound up in the Ice Road Trucker section. He's in trouble as that car hiccuped and lost a couple of spaces, as now Kyle Caffro is able to get underneath that number 17 car.
I think what happened was when Troy Talman underneath him, Talman's car pushed up on the racetrack in the middle of the turn. They just barely touched, And that sent Reen going backwards and lost a couple of spots.
Yeah, he was on a Magical Mystery Tour and now trying to recover from that. The script remains the same at the front of the field with Keith Rocco, looking for another opening day win, is able to lead by about the length of a diving board over Todd Owen. And there's that same kind of margin between third and fourth. Woody Pitkat and Mike Christopher Jr. battling for position.
And of course, Rocco's had a mirror full of Owen for most of this race, other than he saw Owen in front of him for a lap or two. But right now, again, as he did last time, using as much of the racetrack as he can.
And the yellow has come out again for the third time. So an interruption, 10 to go. And
Car on the back.
And that
stretch.
was Zach Leone who brought out the yellow on the backstretch. And you see him get off of John Deere country and back out onto the asphalt. Zach Leone started last season at Stafford, then came to Thompson. And that is a car that was formerly driven by a Stafford modified driver, the Bullet, Daniel Wesson. So Zach Leone has taken over that ride, but he parks it on the safety road. So Keith Rocco and Todd Owen, we saw them each win their qualifying races yesterday, and they have taken that intensity into today. And Todd Owen, a pretty good closer, as he has been known to save his equipment for the final laps of the race. And Keith Rocco, he never saves anything. And never saving any information, he gives it to us, Dave Baraball.
We've caught up with Robert Palmer. And Robert, can you tell us what happened in the 19?
It's very unfortunate. We picked up a piece of debris right there at the end, right at that caution. It came in the front and hit the radiator, poked a hole in it. Really unfortunate because this 19 was good today, real good, and I was making some gains. So very disappointing, but we'll be back.
Some people behind the machine that you'd like to thank.
Yeah, geez, they always LaBeouf Rubbish, big help, and my brother puts this car together for me, and it's a joy to drive.
And guys, there you have.
Well, there are no more courageous drivers than Robert Palmer, who came back from open heart surgery to race last year, and he looks even better this year. So I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot from Robert Palmer during the course of the 2019 season. We are going to be seeing a lot on this restart. Many drivers like to restart on the outside. The driver gets the option. Keith Rocco, however, he is an inside guy, and he thinks the inside is a place to be. And he has the skins on the wall to prove it. A lot of trophies. So he has had great success with his skill to restart on the inside. We will see if he has it on this restart. 20 laps have been completed, and it is a 10-lap scoot for the loot.
Pace car is off, and here they come out of turn number 4. The green flag is in the air, and again, Rocco with a length at the line will lead them down into turn 1. Meanwhile, Woody Pitkat trying to hang tough down on the bottom to give Owen a race for second, and instead slides back behind Mike Christopher. He'll come back up right behind Christopher to take the 4th spot.
And Mike Christopher is on the attack in car number 82, trying to get to the back bumper of the Todd Owen car, going out of line, Woody Pitkat. But we have a problem with Matt Vassar in car number 11, as he is plastered up against the wall in turns 3 and 4. So Matt Vassar in the Hummel hot dog machine, he has come to a stop. We did not finish that lap, so we still have 10 laps to go. And what a way to start the season. An old-fashioned backyard brawl between Todd Owen and Keith Rocco. And I'm sure Rocco will choose to restart on the inside again. He likes it there.
And Woody Pitkat had hoped to get right on the back bumper Rocco at the start, but Rocco just rockets right off. That it's hard to stay with him, and that didn't work for Pitkat, as he was stuck to the bottom of the racetrack and allowed Christopher to get by on the outside to go to 3rd. So this time, of course, on the restart, Woody will start outside of the 2nd row and see if he can go with Todd Owen to regain that 3rd spot.
Well, a guy who is making his debut in the Sunoco Modified Division, and he is having a pretty good run, part of the Keith Rocco team, Eddie Thatcher in car number 51. He is currently running 8th. So I think he'd be happy today with anything inside the top 10. And he is currently running in the number 8 position. Won the National Legend Championship, wrapped it up at Waterford Speedway a couple of years ago. So he is running in the number 8 position. 1 spot ahead of Kyler Caffro. So we will send it back down to Dave Barabalt.
And I'm here with Billy Barcoliccio. Billy, can you tell us what your driver's saying out there?
Everything's good. We just need a couple laps to get rolling. Everything's really good. We're just trying to be conservative, not really burn it up. But now it's 10 to go. He said he's going to try to turn up the wick a little bit and try to get away from him.
So guys, there you have it from the man who's behind Keith Rocco, Barcoliccio.
And when the Bear says that Keith Rocco is ready to turn up the wick, it's a pretty big wick for him.
For sure.
Bigger wick than most. So he is probably going to perch himself on the inside. Troy Tallman has had a good run in the top 5, and he seems to be the only driver who has had a success running the inside. And then Kyle James 6th, Glenn Reen is 7th. Glenn Reen won a wheel and modified tour race at Thompson at the World Series. And he said there is no comparison to running a tour car on this track than a Sunoco modified. He said he didn't think it would be that big a difference until he went out there. He says it's a different world here in the Sunoco modifieds. You really have to be on top of your wheel. And he said the year that he won his only tour race at the World Series, he was 26 in time trials, and he went back to win the race. And you said in recent years, or you made the comment yesterday, that you have to be the top 10 to have a realistic chance to win. I think Glenn Reen might have been the last driver who wasn't.
I think you're absolutely right. Yeah, in recent history, most of the winners have come from inside the top 10. An example of that that we saw last year was with the multi-time winner, Justin Bonsignor. He started in the top 5 of all the races that he won here at Thompson. But you mentioned Glenn Reen. That very well could be the furthest back. I have to go back and look at the history, but you said 26 starting spot. That could be the furthest back somebody's come to win one of the races here at Thompson, at least in the modern history of the NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour.
Yeah, since they've had straight-up starts and have gone by qualifying to determine the starting lineup. It was 10 years ago, as Glenn Reen said. He didn't think it was that long ago. It doesn't seem like that, but a happy memory for him. Will Keith Rocco have a happy memory today? He is really proud of the fact that he has been Connecticut State Champion 9 times, because he said it is quite a thrill to go to the NASCAR banquet and be honored just as greatly as a Cup driver would. So Keith Rocco has won a lot at tracks all over the state of Connecticut, but those 9 state championships are a real big deal for him.
Lights are off on the pace car, indicating we'll go back to green flag racing next time. Last time, before the previous caution, we'd had a long green flag run. So just like that, we're down to just 10 to go in this thing. It's a shootout, and now's the time to go when the green flag comes out with only 10 laps to get it done. Pace car is off, and here they come.
And let's see who gets the upper hand. Rocco fireballs his way across the stripe. So Rocco getting the jump on Owen. Todd Owen fighting back on the outside. Mike Christopher making a lunge, coming off turn 2.
Yeah, Christopher with a great run off of the second turn to get around Woody Pitcat and slide into the 3rd spot. He'll go right up to the back bumper of Todd Owen as those 3 try to pull away.
And now Tallman goes to the inside again as he tries to tucker out that number 51 car, Thatcher. So Thatcher has moved up into 7th place, and the shootout continues between Rocco and Owen.
Owen knocking on the door as they go into turn 3, giving a tap to the back bumper of Keith Rocco. But believe me, Rocco knows he's there and continues to take the preferred groove through the first and second turn. No chance of Owen getting up alongside.
Rocco's lead down to a toothpick. Now Todd Owen, will he dive bomb down low? He decides to wait. Kyle James is able to swoop underneath Pitcat, and he paid a price for that. A little forearm shiver to the back bumper of the Kyle James car.
Not sure what happened there, but Pitcat had been off speed on the backstretch, and I don't know whether he got loosened up by James or not, but Pitcat certainly gave him a shot once he got around in front of him, and Pitcat's trying to get that spot back. That is the race for fourth.
Yeah, we know what Woody thinks anyway. And right now he's thinking about taking that number 4 spot away from James. Has good jump in the middle of the corner. And Woody Pitcat is back and forth. Here comes Owen. He is nibbling on the back bumper of the Rocco car.
Yeah, Owen again gives Rocco a little tap going into 3, but Rocco protects the bottom of the racetrack out of turn 4, and Owen just can't get a run to get the nose underneath. That's where he's trying to get the advantage, but again, they race together and they pulled away from the rest of the field here in the late stages.
It's hard to get momentum against Keith Rocco. Rocco usually stores it all for himself. In third, Mike Christopher having a nice, consistent run. Then it's Pitcat, and then we have a battle. Here comes James down low, trying to rob a spot from Tallman. He does, and making the same move, Glenn Reed, 2 for the price of 1, as he goes all the way into 5th place.
He got a heck of a run out of turn 2, and like you said, 2 for 1. Now Tallman trying to make that pass on the 16 as well as they race down into turn number 1. Tallman will just clear Kyle James and take the spot.
We are approaching 2 laps to go. Rocco holding his line, trying to knock on the door is Todd Owen. 2 drivers sharing the same air supply as they go into turn 2 with a lap and a half remaining.
Here is Owen again, right up on the back bumper of Keith Rocco as they head down into turn 3, looking for any opportunity. This time, Rocco a little bit up in the middle of the racetrack on the turn, but again, Owen can't get the boost.
1 to go as they launch their way into the second corner. Rocco with the upper hand. Moving into third, Woody Pitcat. Mike Christopher trying to get the spot back. And here comes Keith Rocco. Do or die time for Owen. Trying to dive bomb down low. It will be Keith Rocco to win on Icebreaker weekend. Owen second. And coming out of nowhere to grab the number 3 position is Woody Pitcat. In fourth, Mike Christopher. And Glenn Rain will round out the top 5. Then it's Troy Tallman in 6th. Kyle James in 7th. Eddie Thatcher finishing in 8th. Kyler Caffro in 9th. Adam Gaeta in 10th. Michael Paris in 11th. Marcello Refrano 12th. Paul Buzel 13th. Paul LaPlante 14th. Joey Allegro 15th. Corey Berry 16th. Jake Burcham 17th. Zachary Leone 18th. 19th, Robert Bloxham. 20th, Matt Vassar. 21st, Robert Palmer. 22nd, Ronnie Williams. And 23rd, Josh Zentek. So Keith Rocco has done what he has done many times on opening weekend. This time, he had to dominate and hold his own against a hard-charging Todd Owen. So this was not an easy win, as Owen was all over him like a bed of nails. It was kind of a lot of misery attached to that run, but Keith Rocco was able to get the win. Woody Pitcat, what a charge he made at the end. And Woody Pitcat in a new ride for 2019, driving for Dan Avery. And Avery's cars have always had the reputation for getting better at the end of races, and that definitely was the case today, as somehow Pitcat found a way to get on the podium. So we are waiting for the arrival of Keith Rocco, as he knows how to get there. He could probably get to victory lane blindfolded. So he is on his way. And he will park it in Critical Signs victory lane. If you need trophies, awards, Sean and Jennifer can get it done for you. We would like to thank our contingency sponsors for the Sunoco Modified. Napa, $50 to the winner of a random draw. TA Engines, $50 to the winner of a random draw. And the Raceway Restaurant will supply pizza and beer. So Keith Rocco supplying a great photo, which will be at many of the racing publications and racing websites. And another win for one of the best open-wheel drivers in Thompson Weekly Series history. He is out of the car, and let's go to Pete Falcone.
All right, thanks, Matt. Back in a familiar spot for sure for Keith Rocco, victory lane at Thompson, and the defending champion. What a way to start 2019.
Yeah, you know, this new Troyer car is absolutely awesome. I got to thank Troyer Race Cars. They build one heck of a race car. Mark and Mike Payne, M&M Stone Creations. We were fortunate enough to be able to build a new car working with them. And Pettit for the awesome horsepower, D&G Paving, 811 call before you dig, M&M Stone Creations, Thompson International Speedway, Sunoco Race Fuels, and everybody that helps us out. We can't do without them.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Keith Rocco's back in victory lane, as he's done so many times before here at Thompson Speedway Motorsport Park. This time, it's a win in the icebreaker, Matt.
Yeah, but it wasn't easy. You got to give Todd Owen a lot of accolades as clean racing to start the season between Keith Rocco and Todd Owen. And I think that's a battle which will resume on May 19th. The next time we are here, it will be for the late model extra distance race, and it will be Military Appreciation Day at Thompson, an opportunity for us to say thank you to all the women and men who do so much to keep us safe, who put their lives on hold so that we can be safe. And as we said many times, they are the people who keep America as the greatest country in the world. We see the bear in the victory photo, and also Doug Dunleavy. Keith is surrounded by royalty here as we have our final pictures being taken in victory lane. An opportunity for you to visit the Midway. Remember, if you have a youngster who thinks that he or she might want to do this someday, well, the way to get it started is at the Little T, which is located right in the shadow of the Big T. And the best way to get acquainted, their 2019 promotional days, there is one on Saturday, April 20th, and for just $20, your child can drive 10 laps in a quarter midgets. The car and safety gear is provided. Can learn all about the rookie program. And if you go to the booth, you can see it for yourself. Also,